friends and mimosas. Yeah, it's gonna be bubbly kind of time. Join new friends to relax and unwind. The best food with drinks on the side. Cheers to the good times. It's friends and mimosas.
Style of comedy? I would say it's, well, I mean, Chris Shrew is somebody that I take a lot of inspiration from, and he does a lot of improv, is so good at coming up with stuff like on the spot while he's on stage, because I mean, he has been doing improv for like well over a decade now, and I don't know, I try to put a little bit of that into my set. Like, I like to do a good amount of crowd work. Like, I ask people where they're from, I ask them what they like about where they're from, I ask them about like their relationships, yada yada yada. And so I would say it's like half like on the spot crowd work and half of it is written material that I've like prepared and known. You know what I mean?
Have you had hecklers?
Okay, yeah, so quite a few.
What's a heckler? You don't know what a heckler is? What is that? How would you?
Just somebody who won't usually just somebody who won't stop talking to you while you're doing stand-up comedy. Like,
okay.
A classic heckler would probably just be like, "Boo, you suck." You know what I mean? Usually they're a little bit more creative than that. But I would say since I started working on my crowd work, like it used to be a lot more difficult for me, and it still is difficult for plenty of comedians like that deal with hecklers. But if you have like a quick ability to like talk to somebody, because most of the time, I think what people don't realize about hecklers, as people call them, is that they're not trying to ruin the show. They're not trying to make you have a bad time on stage. They
want to be a part of it.
Yeah, wrongly they want to be a part of it, but they still just want to participate. So if you have something to say to them that can make the whole crowd laugh, then you have a pretty good ability to like shut them down, so to speak.
So it gives you ammo sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. I would actually know a lot of comedians that get material, have material from specific hecklers. Like I know this one comedian, Matt LaRocca, who is hilarious, by the way. He has a lot of jokes about like when he used to do drugs, and so he has a joke about heroin, and he says one time a lady told him, he was like, "Nobody likes your drug material. Do jokes about shopping." So he has a joke where he goes, "This week I was shopping for heroin," and then yeah, it's very funny. It's hilarious.
Families from out of town, they come visit?
Not as much as they used to when I was in college. They used to come visit all the time. Now my sister is married, has a kid, a second kid on the way. So they're up outside of Nashville, mostly just taking care of kids.
Okay. Yeah. Do they support your?
That's actually a good question, because I would say my mom was probably a little bit wary. And then I did a show in Nashville that she came and saw, and it was like kind of the first time she's ever really seen me do stand-up comedy. I've been doing it since I was 17. I'm 23 now, but she has not really been doing like an actual show, like a booked show.
All that time.
Yeah, I mean, she came to an open mic, but hey, we had all been drinking, so I don't know if she necessarily remembers that evening as clear as she probably should. But she came to a show in Nashville at a brewery, and she was very impressed. And since then, she's been like now, instead of being like get a job, she's like post on Instagram. She's like post more clips, make a YouTube
She's gonna
page.
be your manager.
Exactly. I hope she is, because she would be very good at it.
Yeah. Moms usually are the best managers.
Momager.
Yeah. You and Troy look like y'all have a good chemistry together.
Oh, I would say it's because we were just very fast friends when we first met. Like about a year ago we probably met. And since then we've just been, at one point we were hanging out like every day of the week. And now we try not to do that, just so that we have a lot of stuff to talk about when we go on stage.
That's true.
And so we'll go on stage, Troy will be like, "What did you do this week?" And I'll be like, "I didn't bust my face." So it was a good week, you know?
There's that.
Yeah.
They do. They have a good chemistry. Y'all ever did a set together?
We usually, like when we co-host, we go on stage at the same time at the beginning, and we both do some material. But that actually started because Comedy House did a couple of, I don't know what the name of the shows were, but there was like duo comedy. So it's like two comedians would go up at once, and there was like a whole lineup of that.
Okay.
And we got asked to come back for the second time, and then, I don't know, we had already kind of cemented that we had like very good chemistry the first time, and after the second time, Chris, Troy, and I got into like a discussion of like, how about we try to make this a show that we can do every Sunday, and it's been going great. It's actually, I think it's one of the best new shows that Comedy House has in terms of like people coming to it and people coming to watch.
figured out how to break into my own car. So if you ever need somebody to break into your car with 2 hangers, I'm your man.
It is gonna take 5 hours, dude.
I will say somebody
clear out your schedule. We really spent the night in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, with a random 58-year-old lady.
Older woman.
What's your most memorable moment so far?
Well, there are a few, and I guess I'm gonna go ahead and probably name a few. I'm probably not gonna be able to just name
Yeah, do it.
Well, starting off with the first book show I was ever put on and paid to do was at Comedy House. It was at Super Stand Up 3. We're on like Super Stand Up 6 or 7 now, and I really enjoyed that. I got to do like 8 minutes. It was fun, and then I also pretty soon after that I got to open up for a comedian called Trix. You might not know him, but he has a huge following on Instagram. He's been on a lot of shows, like very syndicated shows. I believe he's probably been on like a Kevin Hart show before, and the fact that he just asked me to open for him while I was there was such a big and honestly not deserved thing. And when I did that, it was the first time I'd performed in front of probably more than 20 people, and so it was a very fun time. It was so cool. And since then, I mean, Comedy House is like, I mean, Troy, that's a relationship that I've kind of forged through Comedy House. Everybody that works at Comedy House, all the comedians, all of my relationships with the comedians, outside of a few, like Red Bean from Comedy Gumbo, he's known me since I was like 18 because I've done stand-up there, but I've never really had like a closeness with the other comedians until I started working at Comedy House. And now like a comedian comes and I'll be like, I know you want this song to play when you go on stage, and just like things just kind of build from that. And now I've hired 2 new tech people, so I get to do more shows, and I don't have to work every day of the week. Like today, I have both my guys coming in to do tech and work doors. So tonight, I'm either going to go hit an open mic, or I might have a date. That's still up in the air.
So you're waiting on that date to get
well,
back with me?
well, what's funny is I woke up to a call from you and a call from Troy. I also woke up to a text from her that was like, hey, my stomach hurts. I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. And so I was like, do you still want to hang out today? And we'll see what happens.
Okay. Well, good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck is right. I need it. I need all the luck I
Is
can
this a new
get.
relationship?
Yes, very much so. Very
okay.
much so.
So we're hoping for the date. Yes. What's your personality off stage?
I would say I would describe myself as just very goofy. Like, I don't think I ever really have an off switch.
Okay.
I do think my comedy on stage versus off stage is a little bit different, right?
Really?
Because, I mean, when you're off stage, when you're just in regular life, I'm usually only talking to people that I know. And so my jokes can kind of expand and be a little bit more specific, so to speak. But, yeah, I would say I'm pretty goofy off stage, and honestly, part of what I'm trying to do as I grow as a comedian is bring that to the stage, right? I would say that's why I've been working on talking to audience members, being goofy, and because when I first started doing comedy, it was mostly just me and jokes I thought were funny that I thought of, and then telling them on stage, working them out. But every joke I do now almost every joke I do involves, at one point, me asking a question to the audience, and so I've just been trying to bring the goofiness to the stage, is what I'm doing right now, yeah.
What, asking the questions to the audience has to be nerve-wracking. You never know what you're going to get.
That's a lot of avenues.
I know.
What's crazy is, I would say it was more nerve-wracking to just go up there and tell jokes, like just straight material without interacting with anybody at all. Once you start talking to people, you start to realize, like, there are some people that, you know, you might accidentally create a heckler when you're talking to people. Like, you might accidentally get somebody who's just too into having the conversation. But I mean, doing comedy teaches you how to shut that stuff down. It teaches you how to go from talking to somebody into a joke. And I mean, that's always the goal, right? Is to tell a joke or to talk to somebody and have their response just happen to lead you into a joke. I mean, and I like to say that crowd work is not really off the dome, so to speak. It's not really improv. It's just like a well-rehearsed case of what people think is improv. Like, I ask somebody where they're from, you can only name a place.
Right.
And I've got stuff for places. So it's not really like, I'm never really feeling like taken aback by stuff that anybody says. I did ask somebody where they're from. They said they were from Virginia. I said, what do you like about Virginia? They were like, I like that nobody's on my case about anything I do. And I was like, okay, what do you like to do? And he was like, everything. And I was like, I don't have a question for everything. So that's too wide of a topic. And it still went well. I mean, that was actually last night I did that.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, ask
Do
the
you
guy.
know who to ask? Do you go in there, look at the audience?
Right.
Like,
I mean, here's a kind of a classic question that a lot of comedians who do any crowd work at all ask. Will be like, who's from out of town? Make some noise. And then he'll be like, woo, woo, woo. And one guy last night raised his hand. I go, sir, this isn't a classroom. And then he was like, that was the guy from Virginia. And then last night I also asked a couple in the front. I said, you guys still getting hot and heavy in the bedroom? And the one guy goes, we're fucking and sucking. So I was like, okay. I was like, okay. I didn't even need to ask another question because that just erupted the entire room in laughter. And I was like, I don't even want to ask her because that was vulgar, frankly.
wow.
Yeah.
So I know most comedians will say that anything is fair game, but do you have any particular topics that you steer clear of?
Mostly just that story about me busting my face open with Troy. Ever since before that was posted on the internet, I have not tried to talk about that. But no, everything's fair game. I mean, I'll talk about health problems on stage if I got to. I'll be like, I just went to the doctor, stuff's not going good, I'm on antibiotics. But I would say there's probably no topic that's off limits, at least for me. I mean, it really depends. If I'm talking to an audience member, if they're not cool with it,
Right.
you get that pretty quickly. You'll be like, are you in a relationship? And then they'll both just sit there, stone-faced, and look at you, and you gotta be like, cool, moving right along. Who else is a theater major? And then, So it's never been a problem, so to speak. I mean, luckily I work at a comedy club. I mean, it's not the only place I do shows, right? But when I work there, people are going there to see comedy. They know what they're there to see, and unless they're drunk or maybe just in a bad mood, I've never had anybody really be a problem. At least while I was on stage. Any hecklers? All it takes is one good joke to shut a good heckler down because they didn't come prepared with 20 minutes of jokes. I did, so I'm ready to go. I'm always ready to go. So, and that's what I like about working there too is I get a lot of guest spots. Like last night was just because we need more time to fill in before the headliner got there. So they were like, they asked the feature Troy. He was like, who do you know that can be on the show? And I was just like, I can do that. And then I got on it, and it was pretty well. I got people to take photos with me, so it was fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you kind of have to be like off the cuff a lot. Huh?
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't have a lot of time to prepare.
Before? You were a comedian, you could come up with stuff like off the cuff.
I like to think I'm pretty quick. I've got a quick wit, I guess, but no. No, I would say, and the reason because of that is the reason why I did theater and why I'm so interested in stand-up is from a young age, I think I was very uncomfortable, like talking to people in public or like talking to people in general or public speaking especially. I've never been good at that, and I think that's changed just because I was interested in it because it was so difficult for me, and now it's become just like a second nature where I honestly want to go talk to people. Like, I'm so happy to be doing this show right now. I'm so happy to be talking to y'all. And after this, hopefully I get to go meet new people and talk to more people. So that would be fun.
Awesome. What were you doing at the beginning of comedy that you learned that you needed to change? Something
That's interesting. I would say coming up with, and I think there's a lot of comedians that do this, like that are very new. Because I mean, I work the open mic 2 nights a week at Comedy House. I see newer comics come. I see them grow. I see them change. I see some of them get so good that they get booked. I see some of them not really ever get to that place. And I would say the main difference is some comics are doing way too, like, a joke is a premise and then a punchline. That's all a joke really is, the premise and a punchline. And I would say there are some people who don't always get that when they first start out. I would say I was probably one of those people. Like, I remember I got off stage at Comedy Gumbo in downtown New Orleans, and the host was like, hey, like, I like what you're doing, but they're not really jokes what you're telling on stage. And I was like, oh, okay. And then he
what
actually...
were you telling? Stories?
Yeah, I mean, and this actually goes into the second problem that a lot of comedians have. It's not that they don't get a joke, it's that they're trying to do far too much, right? Like I remember when I first started, I would bring note cards, a ukulele. I would bring for just like a 5-minute open mic set, I would just bring stuff on stage and I would sing like a parody song. I would do all this stuff. And it's really like, get your material there. Like, get your jokes to a place where you know, like there are jokes now that I sit on that I don't even tell unless something's not going perfect on stage. And then I tell like one of my older, better jokes, and I get the audience back on my side. But when you first start out, it's so difficult to know what's going to be funny. But it's just really like, it's all about repetition. Like it's really that's the main reason why comedians get good is they're repeating their good jokes. They're getting rid of the bad ones, or they're making them into better ones, and that's what I try to do. Is I try to listen. Is this the eggplant?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna grab this with my fingers.
You want some sauce?
What kind of sauce is it?
I'm sure it's just like marinara.
Oh, okay.
So you started off telling stories, and now, so you learn to make them shorter, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Cut the fat out, as I would say.
Okay. I could see that.
Yeah.
You know, people are probably like, get to the point.
Right.
I used to say a lot when I performed.
Uh-huh.
I'd finish a joke, and while the audience was laughing, I'd be like, And that's just about nerves, right?
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
I mean, I really think there's only 3 things a comedian has to be good at to be good at comedy. It's number 1 is have good jokes. Number 2 is don't do too much. And number 3 is master your nerves. Don't be nervous. I mean, you should be a little bit nervous. I mean, you're literally getting in front of people and you're telling them your material, aka like your story, your perspective. But if you're doing stand-up comedy, you should get to a point where it's like a second nature. It's like a muscle memory type thing where you go up there and like I might feel super nervous like right before, like last night. I didn't know I was going up until like 15 minutes before I went up, and I was super nervous. I was like jumping around backstage, but it's like as soon as you go out there, you see the spotlight, you grab the mic, you start talking. It should just be like you should already know what you're going into. You should know exactly what you're doing, and that's pretty much how it went last night. It was good. It was fun.
Yeah. How do you come up with your material? You said just from people in the
Yeah,
audience?
it's from my life. Like I'll go like one joke that's been doing very well recently is I'll go, I just graduated college. Anybody else go to college in the audience? And then people are like, woo. And then I'll be like, I was a theater major. And then just silence. And I'll be like, all right, screw you guys then. And then that always goes well because nobody ever has ever cheered for me being a theater major. And that joke used to be a lot longer and a lot different, but I realized that was really kind of the point where people are really going to laugh if I just call out the fact that nobody ever says anything about that, which I find so funny. Like, and when they do, it's usually like a person about my age who looks like they might be a theater major as well.
So you went into theater wanting to be a comedian?
Absolutely. I mean, some of my favorite comedic influences are not actually comedians. They're more like comedic actors, like Will Ferrell or Jim Carrey are kind of 2 people that I look up to, Robin Williams. I mean, I do love people like Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart, Cat Williams, like actual, like very profound and prolific stand-ups. But people that I find funny, I mean, like I watch a lot of comedy movies, I watch a lot of comedy everything, and I don't know, comedy has always just been a part of my life. I mean, my uncle is constantly making people laugh. He's kind of probably the person that got me into stand-up because he used to just play it in the car, like driving me to wherever he was driving. Like he would drive me to school sometimes. We were playing like stand-up comedy. And then he found out what XM radio was. And now he's just got the comedian station on every time I get in the car. So, yeah, he loves comedy.
Has he been to your shows?
He has actually not been to a single show. He actually is living his own life right now where he runs a music school / recording studio.
Oh, wow.
So he doesn't really have a whole lot of time. Yeah, he's a professional musician, and at one point he had a record label. He's done stuff like played the national anthem at like a Cincinnati Reds game before and stuff like that. Maybe not even the national anthem, maybe just like there's not a halftime because it's a baseball game, but he did something. And yeah, right now he really loves his job, and I think he's I think he's getting married soon, so that'll be fun. That'll be
Okay,
cool.
well, have you ever taped your show and sent it to him?
Oh, he's
So-
definitely seen hundreds of clips. Hundreds and hundreds of clips constantly. If I say something that I think he'll like, he's the first person I think to send it to. So, yeah, I'll probably send him this show when it comes out. It'll be like, go to minute 42, and yeah, you'll see it.
What do you do when you're not on stage?
That's a good question. Not a lot. I mean, I would say I have a horrible sleep schedule because I work usually from like 6 to 11 or midnight, and then I usually have somehow done stand-up time. And when I do stand-up, it's like an adrenaline rush that is so hard to kick when you go home. So I'm up usually pretty late into the evening just trying to fall asleep, and so
That's why he was late.
yeah, exactly. Every time, if I'm ever late and it's not before 2 p.m., it's because I was in the middle of a dead sleep. And I don't know why, but Troy, he calls me like 4 times in a row, so he just cuts through everything. I think my ringer turned on just because he was calling me. I woke up, he was like, "Get your ass over there." I was like, "Okay, I'm on my way." But yeah, not the only person that has to call me sometimes. I mean, heck, sometimes, I mean, I'm getting my sleep schedule fixed right now. Like, I tried to go to bed earlier than I usually do last night to get here, and I was still late, so I apologize. But I either just hang out until I gotta go to work, or, you know, I mean, like I said, today I have a date. Maybe that would be fun.
Yes,
Yeah,
we're
maybe.
hoping.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I have not checked my phone. Don't want to check my phone, but it's probably. I think she said she had a stomach ache. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Not gonna show her this though, because she's gonna be like, "Don't talk about me on podcast." But it's fine.
Well, you didn't mention
Yeah, you didn't say name.
Yeah, good. Then I'll definitely send it to her.
No, so what do you do for hobbies, or is it?
Okay, well, I do review, like, I actually, this is just gonna kind of go towards my laziness, I guess, but I do review, like, TV shows and stuff. Like, I'm kind of a big TV show and movie buff. Like,
Over here. Perfect.
I love it. Fantastic. I do like to travel the city, you know what I mean? I like to act as a tourist does, you know what I mean? And, like, go to museums and stuff. Today, the date's probably changed because she has a stomach ache, but we were supposed to go to Noma and look at, like, a fashion exhibit that they had over there today.
That's
Nice.
So that was my plan for today. Yeah.
And then you're gonna go buy her some expensive fashion after, right?
Oh, no. I mean, they pay me enough to pay my rent and my bills. They don't pay me enough to buy people nice fashion.
Do you get to go back and visit a lot?
My grandmother lives in Cincinnati, so I do get to go to Cincinnati a good amount. Yeah.
Okay.
I actually I need to call my grandmother. I just realized that.
Glad we can help with that.
What does, you ready to play a game?
I would love to play a game. I love games.
It's Would You Rather.
Oh, okay.
Would you rather eat a meal of cow tongue or octopus?
Cow tongue?
Uh-huh.
I'm going octopus, 100%. I mean, I like calamari in itself enough, but I don't think, if it's anything like my tongue,
Uh-huh.
which I feel every day in my mouth, I don't think I'd want to bite into that.
Really? Now, it depends if it's cooked. Because
Yeah,
I would think it would taste like beef.
sure.
I can't chew on stuff.
I thought it would taste like grass, because that's all a cow eats. That tongue's touching grass every day.
Wouldn't it be tough?
Yeah, I think it would be really tough. I think it would be really tough.
Like leather.
Yeah.
You would go with an octopus? Calamari?
Yeah, if it was fried octopus, I would eat that. If it was, they both sound fairly awful, to be honest with you. I mean,
I'm with you.
yeah.
For either one,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Mm.
You have to pick one. What you going with?
Octopus.
Octopus. I don't know. I might go with the tongue. I can't
Whoa,
do the
okay.
texture of it.
Yeah.
I don't
What
like
about
calamari.
the texture of the tongue?
I think it would be, I've never had cow tongue, so
Okay.
I don't know what
Have
the
you had
texture.
octopus?
Well, yeah, like
Yeah.
calamari, and I don't like the chewy. Just like he doesn't like the texture of the
I feel like, okay, so texture's a good point, right? But I feel like if I had them both,
I know.
in front of me, which one? They'd both be disgusting. They'd
Right.
both be gross.
Yeah.
But which
Either
one could I
sounds
eat
appealing.
quicker and probably keep down? It would probably be the octopus. The cow tongue,
Keep
I think
down.
you would have to. I mean, just the thought of biting into a tongue
Right.
is like maybe the grossest image I've had in my head in a while. Honestly, that just doesn't.
Okay. Would you rather be gossiped about or never talked about at all?
Oh, gossiped about. I mean, they say any press is good press, right? And
For you.
luckily, I don't think I'm doing anything bad or anything. I mean, sure, there might be people that don't like me, but all they can say is that they don't like me. So talk about me all you want. Because being never talked about again just seems kind of scary, honestly. I would hope somebody's
sad,
talking about me
too.
somewhere. Yeah.
Would you rather go without TV or junk food for the rest of your life?
Well, that's hard because all I do is watch TV and eat junk food. But I would have to say, I mean, in my head mentally, I go, I need a better diet constantly.
That's what I was thinking.
So I'd probably, if somebody could take away junk food, I would be like, please prevent me from ever buying it again.
That's
So
what I
that-
was thinking.
Yeah.
With your TV?
Yeah, I think I would keep TV and get rid of the junk food.
Yeah.
I would keep the TV because I'm a couch potato. I love
Yeah,
watching.
me too. I'm a homebody, people are saying.
Yeah.
Would you rather spend a night in a haunted house, or a week in a tent survival camping?
Okay, I mean, in this situation, it's really haunted. Like, there are ghosts in this house.
It's very haunted.
No, not in my house.
It's
I live in an
haunted,
apartment.
this house.
But if
It's severely haunted.
And how many? Just one night?
You need to spend a night or a week
And
in roughing it.
like roughing it out in the wilderness.
Yeah.
I'd probably go roughing it in the wilderness, just because I've always wanted to learn skills, like how to make a fire, how to pitch a tent. I mean, all these things. Yeah, exactly. I didn't make it very far in Cub Scouts, so I definitely need those skills. So.
Okay. What are you going with?
I'm used to that, so.
So you're doing the one night haunted house.
oddly enough, the haunted house.
Really?
Because it's just one night.
So you're coming with it. You're coming? Did Troy talk to you about that?
Coming to what?
The haunted house?
No, Troy's not talking to me about this at all.
Okay. So our Halloween special, we're going to have brunch at a haunted bed and breakfast. And
Oh,
we're going
wow.
ghost hunting now.
You can take my spot.
Oh, I'll be there. Hey, I'll be there.
We're having real live ghost hunters come and we're going ghost hunting.
Oh, that sounds super fun. That
You
sounds
coming?
awesome. Yeah, I'll be there. Heck yeah, I will be there.
I could have one day to live and say goodbye to everyone. Or do everything you ever wanted and not have a chance to say goodbye. That's one to think about, huh?
I mean, this is kind of sappy, but like, I enjoy my family so much that I feel like anything that I would want to do on my last day would involve them there. So I would say saying goodbye would be kind of what I want to do. You know what I mean? Hanging out with my family is exactly what I'd probably like to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, like,
That's
especially,
what I was thinking.
yeah, my
Yeah.
mom, my sister, my niece, my little 4-year-old niece, like, she'd probably be pissed at me if I didn't say goodbye because she gets angry pretty easily.
And he knew he was going away forever.
Yeah, exactly.
We're giving you 3 wishes.
Okay.
Okay? What are they?
What are my 3 wishes? Okay, easy. Number 1, a lot of money. Just a lot of money. Whatever amount of money would make it so that I and everybody that I care about does not have to work another day of their life. 2, 1 kind of solves all my problems. 2, I would say never have a health problem again for the rest of my life because I hate the doctor, I hate health problems. And then 3 would be this is random, but like just like a lifetime supply of chocolate milk.
Chocolate milk.
I love chocolate milk. I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
3 good wishes.
Those are good.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers to new friends. New friends. Cheers, everyone. Thank you so much for coming.
Oh, I'm having this has been the best middle of the day experience I've ever had in my life.
and mimosas. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share just to show that you care. Friends and mimosas. Friends and mimosas. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share just to show that you care. Friends and mimosas.